sound. Turkey, 1, 2, turkey, 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 1, 2, turkey.
Bass.
Bass, 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 turkey, turkey. Turkey.
Oh man, we're like a dubstep group now.
Dub Turk.
We could be the Purple Man group. Hey, you're listening to Commander Cookout Podcast, episode 240. I'm Brando. I'm here with Ryan. Today we're going to kick off the Arc of Strixhaven. Now hit our theme song! Hey, Ryan. We're back for yet another whirlwind adventure. How you doing?
Good. What is going down?
Whole ton is going down. We got a exceptionally interesting deck to talk about.
Yeah.
We have some stories to tell, some people to thank, some adventures to go on. But before we do any of that, we have to thank our official business daddies, FusionGamingOnline.com. They are your source for all your gaming needs.
Ooh, very much so. I've got all of my Commandy decks ordered. Ordered all 5. CCO Fusion 5 promo code saved me a bunch of monies.
Ooh.
Bunch of currency points.
Nice.
Yeah, so they're all coming. And I'm going to crack them, going to paint some of them, going to keep some of them, going to build some cards. I ordered a couple singles, ordered a couple fucking super packs.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a good ass time, and I'm contemplating. What do you think? Buying a regular set booster box, for the Stinky Onion bag,
Sure.
so people can win those packs.
Meh.
To crack some, open flippy some,
Meh.
yeah, and to try and pull some Dragon's Approaches. I only need about 35. Yeah. No.
At least it's a common, right?
It is a common.
Yeah, it's a common.
And we've got it up on our screen because why?
It's in the deck. It is the gimmick of our Plargg Dean of Chaos / the other side of the card that we're not going to play.
Yeah.
Deck.
Plargg.
Plargg. I just like saying it. I feel like don't we know a Mr. Plargg? Mr. Plargg?
Mr. Plargg, yeah, he was in Atraxable, Nate Burgess.
Yeah.
And I totally dink stomped him. Remember he was playing Cormus Bell and make all your lands into swamps and then wrath the board, .deck?
Yeah, his wrathing the board is what kicked off the play that resulted in you becoming the scumbag of scumbags.
Yes, the Scumbag Nation.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the slums of CCO.
If anybody ever thought that we were going to challenge everybody to a game and then not win it, they obviously haven't been to the nation before.
That's right. That's right. Now, speaking of the Naish, this deck, today's deck, submitted to the preferred Decklist channel on our Discord by a one Mr. D Jack. That is Daniel Jackson. And what did you call the deck? It's a
Wait. D-Jack did this?
Yes.
So why is he Jimmy Sloan on Architect?
I don't know.
I spent all night last night trying to figure out who the fuck Jimmy Sloan was. I didn't even read the deck until this morning.
He's just searching the internet.
I'm just trying to find out who Jimmy
You're
Sloan
like,
is.
who's Mr. Plargg? Who's Jimmy Sloan?
They're not.
Is this real life?
Who are we even talking about? Yeah, no, I didn't even know what the deck did until like you text me saying I'm on my way. I'll be there in 20 minutes. I was like, shit, I better learn what.
Shit. Yes. So Brando gets in the car. So you know this deck, it can't cast the white cards in it. I was like, no. It's a white deck. And you're like, no, there's no white cards in it.
There's no white mana in it. It's a thing.
So we don't think that the deck is 100% complete, as most decks that are submitted in the various CCO Discord channels are, and they're looking for advice. They're looking for like, what do I add? What do I cut?
And boy, howdy, do we have it. Well, I got a couple of additions that are they're blatantly obvious, but also pretty good, I think, in a deck like this.
Yeah. So I think for the most part, the deck just is missing its mana base, and then after we add, like, there's 36 mountains. If we cut that in half and then fill the rest up with plains, or just 5 or 6 plainses, that would be enough, and then we could play this deck. So we wanted to feature it. It's Dragon's Approach Plargg. So why don't you give Plargg a read? We'll give Dragon's Approach a read, and then we'll talk about fucking everything else like we always do.
We're going to read Dragon's Approach later when we get to it in the deck.
Okay.
I'm going to tease everybody with that shit. But Plargg, Dean of Chaos is
They already know what it does.
They do,
Okay.
but bear with me here,
Yeah.
okay? It's maybe somebody is listening to the show for the first time. This is their very first introduction to Magic the Gathering deck building jank ass mother ass podcast.
We got a mother ass out of Brando.
First time for everything.
First time in the ass.
And There's a first time for everything.
We started talking about different things really fast.
we
there. How
don't-
about Plargg?
We don't kink shame in the nation. 2/2 for red 1, tap, discard a card, draw a card.
First time in the colon.
There we go. Red 4 tap, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-legendary, non-land card with converted mana cost 3 or less. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost. Put all revealed cards on the bottom of your library in a random order.
So you can pay 5 tap.
Yep.
And then you reveal down to what's probably going to be a card draw spell or a Dragon's Approach, and you can cast it for free.
Yes.
Neat.
No. Here's my question. I have a question about this. Totally off the subject of the deck, but still valid, I think. What is the red/white 3 or less cost legendary creature that's going to blow the fucking game so far over the line that you are willing to build a deck that only possesses 1 card that's legendary and casting cost 3 or less that you can get for free with this guy? That you're willing to not even play fucking ramp so that you can just power out to 7 mana to get your 3 or less drop legendary white and red creature. Why does it say non-legendary thing? What is the point of the caveat in that deck? What is the point?
I don't know.
It's some extra words on an already
That's
worded
white
card.
and red.
Like, what are you going to... Oh, I got a Isimaru Hound of Konda for free. Watch out.
There's probably some control cards that they just want to maybe avoid.
Are they legendary?
I don't know.
I'll bet you they're not. You can definitely get a Winter Orb off of that.
You can't get a Winter Orb
Why not?
because it's you can't cast artifacts with it.
Reveal a non-legendary, non-land card.
Oh yeah, you can get a Winter Orb off it. Pew 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 pew.
Yeah, you can get all kinds of dirtbag shit off of it. Like, what? Why specify non-legendary? Maybe that's a standard thing. I don't know.
I think it is a little bit standard when you think of like
Maybe it's
Woodland
casting it to
Bellower.
Uro or to Uro. Now Uro's banned.
Yeah, that could be a thing.
Now he's banned.
Yeah, that's right. But
Yeah.
that's an actual good example of in standard why they would not want a legendary because there are 3-drop planeswalkers in standard.
Oh,
That could be a thing. Remember that standard format that like they pretend that like the masses still play?
Yeah.
Yeah, only on Arena.
Yeah.
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 Now, you mentioned dirtbags a couple seconds ago.
Yeah, there's a couple of them on your screen right now if you're watching on YouTube.
Very much so, and you should be. And welcome to the new subs. And if you're not fucking sub.
Agreed.
Yeah, there's no reason not to. It's really easy. You just click the button. Now,
Yeah.
speaking of dirtbags, we got a couple new dirtbags in the nation.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, a couple returners, couple increasers now that they're either back on their feet, back in the job seat, if you will.
What's more exciting than them being back here is that they're back on their feet.
Yeah, very much so. Light at the end of the tunnel type scenario.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so patreon.com/CCO Podcast. Get you your CCO nickname. And we have a local that increased his pledge again. And I said we'd thank him, and he's like, oh, I don't even remember my nickname. And I was like, oh, boy, howdy. We'll remind you. So, first nickname, thank you, and FU, Callum Brown Star.
How did he forget that?
Oh, if you're the Brown Star, how can you forget?
That's a butthole.
Yes, that's like pseudo-celebrity Lucifer Morningstar's kind of sort of half-brother, Brown Star. All right,
He's the one that guards the back door to hell. Got there.
yeah, I do like that very much so, and I think that he'll appreciate that exact reference, which is great. Next one, returner. Welcome back to Deezer Irons.
Oh, I love
Deez
that
here
guy.
Irons.
Yeah, I remember that guy.
Deez Nuts Irons.
I like that too.
Iron Nut Deezer.
I like these here nuts. That's the one that I like.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, very much so. Welcome back. Well, I didn't send you a message because I knew that we were going to thank you like today.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you.
And also,
F you.
Yeah, very much so. You're going to love this.
Oh.
You might have seen the notification.
I love things that I love.
New patron, Byron Calver. Yeah, You never heard that name for a long time. I legitimately surprised Brando there.
Wow.
Yes.
Byron, that's cool. He's
I
our
know.
local judge and like
Yes.
MtG.
And then he beat it
guru.
to Toronto or whatever because he was getting a new job and we were all sad and stuff because we never got to play EDH because he never fucking plays EDH.
Yeah, that's all those things are true.
So I messaged him now. I said, "Hey, are you back? Like next time you're back after COVID, you like we'll jam at the lane. We'll go for drinks after."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he back?
I don't know. He didn't answer me.
Oh, I hope
Fucking
he is.
guy.
That'd be cool. He's like a puzzle guru. He's like one of those dudes
Yeah.
that does Sudoku puzzles real fast, and he can do those like other number fit shape things that I don't even understand looking at them.
Yep.
They're like quadratic, and he just does them real fast, competitively. It's crazy.
Yeah, he went to like China and stuff to do puzzle games and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's his nickname though?
Ooh.
Pylon cover.
Pylon cover? Byron Calver's pylon cover.
Just
There it is. Okay. Byron, thank you, and
F you.
very much so. Final one. Christopher Maloney.
I feel like there's a baloney joke.
I was just going to say it's like some kind of Italian baloney.
Yeah. He's smuggling salamis.
Oh, yes. Christopher Salami Smuggler.
Yeah.
Baloney, but only where it counts.
There it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like super big around and like 3 inches long.
Yes. Much, much wider than it is long.
Yes.
Yes. Christopher Baloney. Welcome.
Christopher Baloney Pony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the baloney pony. Do not Google that.
No.
I don't know why anybody wants these nicknames, but here we are.
It is where we have ended up.
Welcome to the nation. Patreon.com/CCO Podcast. You can help the show and get a nickname. It's a win-win, pretty much.
Yeah.
Now, Arc of Strixhaven.
Strixhaven.
Yes.
Yep, we're going to talk about things that are from that set. Do decks based on the... I think we both agreed they were fairly mediocre, but we were excited to see what other people were going to do with them, and we have got some submissions so far that are fantastic, and there's still time to get yours in if you were thinking about building something.
Very much so. So you've got a couple options. CommanderCookout@gmail.com. That's where you can send a deck. Submissions there, we look at them all, even if we don't respond to all of them, and they usually are accompanied by a message, hey, we love the show, can you take a look at my deck? We always do, even if we don't get back to you on the email. Next option is the preferred Decklist channel on the Discord, which is a Patreon benefit. That's where this deck came from. And then if you don't have access to that channel, there's jank and competitive Decklist channels there as well, which I do look at for decks or ideas sometimes. Yeah, and I do post in the jank one when I'm building a new deck.
And why would you pick the jank one, Ryan?
Because I love jank. So, new arc means maybe there'll be some open-ing and flippy-ing and drinking-ing.
Yes.
Yes. And maybe some other kind of just little reviews, how do we feel type, just YouTube stuff.
Yeah,
that-
lots of YouTube content on the horizon is what Ryan's trying to say.
Yes, very much.
Yeah.
So, now, the deck, Plargg.
Meh. Before that.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
You got it.
We mentioned earlier the special promo code CCO Fusion 5 get you 5% off your entire order.
Ooh, good idea.
FusionGamingOnline.com. Made an order the other day to... Remember last week when I said I'm one card away from 100% complete foiling out my second deck?
Yes.
Not only is it my second almost 100% pure pimp deck,
That's pretty good.
it's also another mono red deck of my 4 mono red decks
Of course it is.
that I am now on a quest to all the way pimp out all 4.
So you're
No.
just going to have like 4 foil versions of everything? Just in case you stop playing Commander, you can break your decks apart and have play sets?
The only deck that's common to all 4 is Chaos Warp.
Oh, that's a good card.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think that's even pretty good based on like I have 4 mono red decks, and the only card that's in all of them is Chaos Warp.
I think that's good. Yeah, that's in like there's probably cards that you have 3 of, but not that 4th one.
Skull Clamp,
Skull Clamp. That's a good
And
card too.
I guess
You
Sol
play
Ring,
real
too.
cards, dude?
like 2.
Skull Clamp and Chaos Warp?
Remember, but when I built all these decks, red didn't draw cards, so you played Skull Clamp or you ate shit. That was the way that
Yes.
the decks worked, and that's still how they work because I'm too lazy to put in card draw spells
Ah.
because
okay.
they're less exciting than real spells.
Now you're speaking my language. Okay.
So I made an order for a few of the little bits and pieces that I needed from Fusion. Very cool. They're in the mail. They're on their way. Very excited. But then I realized that there were some of these cards. Oh my god!
Ooh.
Like Do you know how much money a mana crypt is when it's foil? It's a fucking lot. So and I have a foil one.
Better opportunity to save your 5%.
Yes. and I have one foil one, and it's in Norrin. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to cut it from Norrin and put it in Muxus. So now I'm going through all these decks, and I'm like cutting foils, and now I have...
With scissors, so you can still play them in 2 different decks.
That's right.
And you proxy the bottom half or top half of the card. That's how you do it, right?
It was amazing how well that worked, actually. Little foil peel action. It works real good.
Oh, good.
Real slick. But I'm making all these cuts, and now I have like room to put new cards into Norrin.
Ooh, that's always a good feeling. Hey?
I don't have to make cuts. I have 3 spots in Norrin. I haven't had 3 spots in Norrin since I built Norrin. That's amazing.
I haven't had 3 spots in anything ever. Don't Google that.
But I'm very excited, and I am now down. Get this, Ryan.
What is it?
Last week I was 1 card away from one deck.
Now
I'm 9 cards away from fucking 4 decks after I made the cuts. I was like, if something's...
I don't know if that's better or worse.
If something's expensive and hard to find, I just cut it. So I'll just put in something else. I'll assume they'll release something in Strixhaven that I'll want. I'm very excited about this project because it made my decks feel a little bit...
New again.
New to me. And so now when I'm playing online, I get to play like a brand new deck, and I'm always looking for new cards. I'm super pumped.
That is exciting. That is exciting. I have a similar kind of sentiment with Dragon's Approach, like this deck. Well, no, not all the way back. Just a little bit. No, just a little bit. We're on a detour still. I've got the Pramicon Petitioners deck. Last week we talked about combining Petitioners and Dragon's Approach in one deck.
You're still doing it?
I scrapped that idea. Because I wanted the Pramicon Petitioners deck to do a thing.
Right.
And I wanted the Dragon's Approach deck to fill a certain role without being degenerately broken, because the swing on Dragon's Approach decks I've found is very wide. You can have jank crappy ones like this one is a jank one.
Yep.
The one I'm building, I think, is going to be of a pretty reasonable power level. And then you can have like all the way mono red, like Storm, Burgy, Infinite, fucking Dragon's Approach combo decks.
Yeah.
So I split it up, and I think what you're talking about, 4 mono red decks, they all do something different. It's important to have varying power levels, and that was one of the reasons that I wanted to highlight this deck today. So D-Jack, Daniel, thanks for sending it in. I think that it exemplifies kind of the importance of having less powerful decks. Not bad decks. I don't think the deck is bad once you tweak the mana base. But just purposefully less powerful decks.
Yeah.
And you're never going to make somebody feel bad. Here's the lesson of the day. For the newer players, the players playing in random pickup games, you're never going to make a pod feel bad if your deck is not powerful enough. And if you find that you're not keeping up on a continuous basis, you can always notch the power level up. Faster mana rocks, more draw, more rituals or tutors, and as you kind of notch the deck up, you'll find that you'll be able to compete and have fun at the same level. The opposite is, okay, every tutor, every ramp, every 0 drop, fast as I can to try and win with my jank combo, jank in air quotes for the non-YouTubers.
Yeah, if you can make 10 mana on turn 2, it doesn't matter what your combo, how jank your combo is.
And then you stomp the table with your, again, air quotes, jank combo, and it leads to everybody feeling bad, and then either a Boogeymander commander situation like we talked about last month, and you having to notch your power level back and convince your friends or convince people that it's not that deck.
Yeah.
So I like this scenario that we're highlighting today.
Agreed. That reminded me of a story I forgot to tell. I actually have a serendipitously...
Wow.
I don't even know if that's a real word.
We're going to pretend it is.
Pickup game that also harkens back to a conversation that I got into for like the 6th time on Twitter about Turgrid?
Sure.
Thoughts on Turgrid aside.
Yes.
Okay? Casual, not casual, fun, not fun. I was in a pickup game and somebody tried to play Turgrid and then got salty when the table wouldn't let them. And the reason that we didn't want them to play this deck is because playing Turgrid on VDH doesn't fucking work.
Yes.
So you can build it. Build it as build it for fun, build it to be competitive, fill it with pox effects. Don't let anybody tell you not to build the decks that you want to play. But don't get salty when people don't want to play against them. But for Tergrid, lay off of it on VDH.
Yeah.
It just leads to people being bitter, and then this game that you get into that's supposed to be fun isn't fun because somebody's all surly and pissed off because we didn't want to wait for them to draw proxies of every single motherfucking card that
terrible.
we play.
Yeah.
Just a heads up and a pro tip from somebody who, like, we shouldn't have had to get into a fucking argument over that. Right?
It wasn't Chris Von Doom, was it?
No, it was not Von Doom.
Probably was.
No, if it was, I would call him out of like Von Doom.
Von Doom?
You're terrible.
Quit being so doomy.
I say that like every time I see him. It's like, Von Doom, you're terrible.
Wow, good.
Yep.
Good. Okay. We're going to announce the winner of the Stinky Onion pack now or at the end of the show and trying to remember?
We're going to do it right now because I forgot all morning until right now when you mentioned it. So
Okay.
we'll definitely forget by the end of the show.
Winner from guessing Asaki Sky Asunder.
Oh, yeah, that card's shitty.
I don't even know if I said the name right, but
Doesn't
the winner
matter.
from guessing last week is Dakota Rummery. That sounds like a nickname. Dakota Rummery.
That doesn't sound like a real name. But get at us at commandercookout@gmail.com. Include your name, address, that you won the pack, and we'll get something from the dirty, stinky onion bag off to your house, and may you open something that isn't complete shit.
Yeah, you probably will, though.
Yeah, it's a pack coming from us, and like I say all the time, we get the bad boxes so that you don't have to.
Very much so. Now, without further ado, we touched on the deck a little bit, the power level. Let's get to it right now.
All right, Ryan. Let's start with the signature card of the deck.
Sure.
And the signature card of the deck is Dragon's Approach.
Deproach, if you will. So this is a sorcery for red 2. Dragon's Approach deals 3 damage to each opponent.
Each
opponent.
I like
so
that.
it's Lightning Bolt times 3 for Lightning Bolt times 3 mana cost. Sorta.
Yeah.
That checks out.
It makes sense.
Checks out in a red deck.
The math is sound.
Okay, then you may exile Dragon's Approach and 4 other cards named Dragon's Approach from your graveyard. When you do, search your library for a dragon creature card and put it onto the battlefield. Dragon for free, but you gotta spend 15 mana to get it.
15 mana and 5 cards.
I'm down. I'm totally down. When you put it that way, which I've never done before, it sounds fucking terrible. But I'm still down. Now, the caveat is, hey, Ryan and Brando, you guys are a bunch of idiots. You can't play 5 of card and you can only play 1 in Commandy. Well, let's read the last paragraph, Brando.
The deck, or a deck, can have any number of cards named Dragon's Approach.
Any number. Now, this is our first ever instance of any number of cards in your deck as a sorcery.
And as a red card.
Sort of. I'm going to count 7 dwarves. I'm going to count 7 dwarves as an any number.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah. So we
Fuck, it
can
was any number. I wish 7 dwarves was any number. Oh my god.
Well, in your what's his name?
Brutaclad?
Brutaclad deck, technically it is.
That's true.
Now, because this is a sorcery, we can do things that we can't do with cards like 7 dwarves, persistent petitioners, rat colony, and relentless rats. We can't copy that if we imprint it on something. We can't have 2 of them in our graveyard and copy it with a Pyromancer's Ascension because those cards are creatures.
Right.
This is a sorcery.
Ooh.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about all the little tricks and stuff that we can do with this. We're going to talk about dealing damage. Maybe a little bit we can talk about combo because this is kind of just a really jank, not really go infinite combo type deck. And we can start to demonstrate how this could be utilized to great effect. But before we do, maybe we'll look at some card draw. How are we going to find? How are we going to refill? Now, remember, Plargg, 5 mana, tap. We can draw a card, discard a card.
Well, just tap. Draw a card, discard a card. 5 mana tap. You can mill to a non-legendary, non-land 3 mana or less thing.
Yes, sir. Yes. You can card draw on your commander, sort of.
Well, yes.
Yes. Stuff that we are playing in the deck matters if we have cards in our graveyard. So Plargg's discard is good. He's got tap, pay 5 for Dragon's Approach, maybe, because we're playing 35 of them. Sorry, 34 of them.
34, 35.
Yeah, once you kind of hit above 30, you've got like a...
It's a 1 in 3 chance, essentially.
Or better.
I'm
because
not math, but...
Yeah. So we've got some draw. Some of it's pretty standard red stuff, so give it a read.
We got Wild Guess, Tormenting Voice, Renegade Tactics, Overmaster, Magmatic Insight, Crash Through, Cathartic Reunion are the... Most of those are some variation of shitty effect, draw card,
Yep.
or discard a number of cards, draw between 2 and 3 cards.
Yeah, so the Wild Guess, the Tormenting Voice, and the Cathartic Reunion want us to discard. And we're going to want Dragon's Approaches in our graveyard so we can exile them and find a dragon.
Right.
So that facilitates the Dragon's Approach plan, and then we're playing a couple cards that care about them being in our graveyard as well.
It enables the Dragon's Approach. Oh, I'll fire myself. Thank you.
This is DAA podcast. And then, yeah, like Overmaster, that was the card we were talking about in the pre-show where it says the next instant or sorcery you cast can't be countered.
That's pretty cool, actually. That's a good card, I think. Even I was sleeping on. Like, I actually do have a foil and non-foil of this card in my life, and I just never think to play it.
Yep.
Right? Never.
Yep. So you go 4 Dragon's Approaches in your graveyard. You cast Overmaster, draw a card. Then you cast your 5th one. It can't be countered because of Overmaster, and then you get your dragon faux show.
I dig it.
Yeah, it's a little insurance play, right? It just for a 1-mana tax, you make you get a dragon that can't be countered.
It's also got that cool art on it too.
I don't even know what that is.
I have no. It looks like a mountain that's farting fire, maybe, and then there's like a little like a bag with a rock in it, and there's like a little guy kind of down here. Maybe it's a cave with an ice wall in it, and there's like something shooting through the ice wall.
I got an idea.
Maybe that's a bird. I have no idea. The more I talk about it, the less this picture makes sense.
This is a drinking game. This is the new CCO drinking game. Maybe watch the YouTube channel for this. Ryan and Brando describe art cards poorly and then drink if they can't guess the name of the card. Open Flippy, eat your heart out.
Oh, man. People would be dead.
So the point is, we're going to discard, we're going to draw, and those are important things for the deck to do.
There's one last card in this section. Important to note that the way the deck is currently constructed on Architect, this card can't be played because there is no access to white mana. The card is Search for Glory.
This is a new one from Kaldheim, which is cool because we just kind of finished the Arc of Kaldheim, sort of.
Sure, yeah.
Anyways, search your library for a snow permanent card, a legendary card, or a saga card. Reveal it and put it into your hand. If you
get a 1 life for each snow mana you spent to cast the card.
Oh, yeah, so you could get max value out of this card by playing all snowlands.
We're playing no snowlands.
Yeah, and that's why we think, again, the mana base just isn't completed. So you play the snowlands, you gain 3 life when you cast this, and you can search for one of 3 legendary cards that are in this deck. Do you want to do them now or do them when we get to them?
We're going to do 2 of them now and do the last one later.
Sure.
First one, Torbrand, Thane of Redfell.
Oh, baby.
My boy Torbs.
If something deals damage, it deals 2 more damage.
Red things that we control.
Yeah, that's fucking all of our things.
Yes.
So now our Dragon's Approaches deal 5 to each opponent.
That's pretty good.
That's really good.
That's not a bad rate.
That's 15 damage for 3 mana? That's Brando rate. All right?
I didn't want to oversell it, all right? Come on.
What's another legend?
In our cost reduction category, which is where we're going next.
Oh, good seg of way.
We got a Zerda the Dawnwaker.
Yeah, not as a companion, but as a regular.
When I was first reading the deck, it has 101 cards in it, and I'd initially thought that Zerda the Dawnmaker was supposed to be the companion, and maybe our boy couldn't just figure out how to make the companion thing a thing.
Yeah.
But then I realized that the deck doesn't actually allow her as a companion because Torbrand doesn't have an activated ability.
Yeah. And
so it doesn't work anyway. But the point is we have a Zerda the Dawnmaker.
Yeah, and the companion is each permanent card you control needs to have an activated ability.
Yes.
And looking at the dragons now, it's like Oh, yeah, maybe that is a thing. Maybe that's why those dragons were chosen.
Yeah, we can see that they're going for it, but then Torbran and the other legend... Oh, I guess the other legend.
Yeah, it does.
It does work, yeah.
There's other permanent cards that don't have activated abilities, though.
Yes.
So maybe... Okay, anyways, Zirda's in the deck because activated abilities that aren't mana abilities cost 2 less to activate. And you can pay 1 tap. Target creature can't be blocked this turn. I think that the target creature can't be blocked this turn is fine because we're playing some big, beefy boy dragons or girl dragons.
I'm assuming that that's only on there so that Zirda herself could be in the deck that she is the partner of.
Yes. In this deck, it's incidental that we're playing big dragons, and it does make Plargg's activated ability cost less so we can get those free dragons approaches.
Yes. Next up, we have a card that I think we will cut for something else, in Semblance Anvil.
Yeah, this is an imprint card, and we're playing a couple of these because we're playing an any number sorcery card. Okay, so this is a 3-drop artifact that you imprint, which means when it enters a battlefield, you may exile a non-land card from your hand. We would probably exile Dragon's Approach or a sorcery because spells you cast that share a type with the exiled card cost 2 less to cast. Ooh, so now our Dragon's Approaches that are dealing 5 cost just red.
You know what else? You know what would be just better than Semblance Anvil? I know that you're not supposed to say just better, but that should be a Thrumming Stone. Because then our Dragon's Approaches that are doing 5 just probably win you the game. And there.
That's when you kind of leave the realm of jank combo into real combo, right?
But here's the thing. Game's got to end.
Yep.
And there isn't a tutor that's going to find a Thrumming Stone in this deck.
That's right.
So if you happen to draw a Thrumming Stone and resolve it, and then resolve a Dragon's Approach, there's still a decent chance that you could whiff, but there's a better chance that you're going to do, call it, let's say, 18 damage and put a dragon into play.
Ooh.
And that's fucking cool, man. It's not like the dragon's going to win you the game when it comes into play.
Yeah.
And I think that the Semblance Anvil might... Like, are you going to exile a dragon so your dragons cost less? Are you going to make your Dragon's Approaches cost 1 and then play the 2 that are in your hand?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think that you could just play Thrumming Stone and nobody's going to hold it against you.
I don't think that you cut Semblance Anvil. I think that we find something else to cut.
Okay.
And I think Dragons Approach decks, I don't think they ought to have like 8 or 10 dragons. I think they only need like 3 or 4.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, and that's something that I've been thinking about and keeping my eye on when looking at decks. Like, how many dragons do you actually need? Like, how many of these spells do I need to resolve? How many times do I need to hit somebody with a dragon to just kill people, right? So let's keep looking at our cost reducers, though.
I love this card.
Oh, man. And this is the first time we get to play it in Commandy.
I'm so happy that it's finally made its debut in Commander. Time Spiral Special Locket of Yesterday.
Yes, I had to dig and fucking dig through my boxes to find one, but I found one.
Man, I have these.
I have one.
Okay.
Spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each card with the same name as that spell in your graveyard. Oh, man. I suppose you could cast rats and stuff off of that.
You don't. But you don't.
You don't. Let's keep going.
Hearthstone,
that makes your activated abilities of things cost 1
less.
1 less, yeah.
So, cool.
Okay.
Cloud Key.
When it enters the battlefield, you choose artifact, creature, enchantment, instant, or sorcery. Spells of the chosen type cost 1 less. I think that you would just choose sorcery.
Yeah. This is another one. You could probably just turn that into a Thrumming Stone.
Yeah, this one. I still don't think you want to cut your cost reducers. If I was going to cut a cost reducer, it would be to add a Ruby Medallion. And, of course, Ruby Medallion not in the deck because it's like $40 now.
What?
All the medallions spiked fucking huge. And I would probably just I'd probably cut like one of the activated ability cost reducers because I don't think that that's as important as making your Dragon's Approaches cost less. Like if your Dragon's Approaches cost 1 and you discard a land and draw 3 with a Cathartic Reunion and you draw 3 Dragon's Approaches because there's 34 of them in the deck, you go red, red, red. Everybody take 9. I'll find a dragon.
Man.
That's pretty good.
Not too bad.
Okay, let's keep going.
It's all right. Let's duplicate some spells. Because there's some cool ass shit in here.
I do love a good old duplicate.
This first one I forgot about.
Yeah, because you can't do it in Commander.
And so in this deck, it's so good.
Yes.
It's so fucking good.
It might not be as good as you think. I looked up the rules.
Spellweaver Helix.
Spellweaver Helix. Nobody knows what that card does unless they're building a Dragon's Approach deck.
Yes.
I think that card might spike. If Nullspine Dragon spiked, I think this might.
Sure.
Okay, so this is another imprint card. When it enters the battlefield, you exile 2 target sorcery cards from your graveyard.
From a single graveyard.
Yes.
So it could be yours. Probably would be yours. But hypothetically, if you wanted to just waste it.
It could be graveyard hate.
Yeah, you could do some graveyard hating with it as well.
Somebody else is playing Dragon's Approach.
Wouldn't that be awesome? Oh, that'd be awesome.
Okay, whenever a card is played, if it shares a name with one of the exiled cards, you create a copy and then you may cast that copy without paying its mana cost.
Yes, but you make a copy of the other one. So if you play Dragon's Approach, play a Dragon's Approach, you get 1 Dragon's Approach. That's how that works.
Yes, if you exile 2 spells from a single graveyard with the same name, you only get 1 copy.
So ideally, what you'd want here probably is... Well, I don't know. Would you want Dragon's Approach and a card draw spell on this then? Or do you want to do maximum... I guess get 2 dragons if you do...
Maximum Dragon's Approach.
Because you could go Dragon's Approach, Cathartic Reunion.
Dragon's Approach.
So you could you 3 the table and draw 3 cards, which would probably include more Dragon's Approaches, right?
Well, you only have 1 Cathartic Reunion, so you can't cast a card named Cathartic Reunion because you've already exiled 1.
But you can cast one that's called... Because you get the other one. If you have 2 cards with different names, if you cast one of them, you get the other one.
Ah.
So whenever you play Dragon's Approach, you'd get the other one, which could be a Crash Through, a Magmatic Insight, an Overmaster, a Renegade Tactic. Shit, Overmaster would be real good too. You draw a card, and then forevermore, as you're playing your Dragon's Approaches, they can't get countered.
Hey, that's really fucking good.
Right?
That's good.
Spellweaver Helix, very cool.
Now, remember, with these particular cards from Original Mirrodin, the imprint ones, you create a copy, and then you can cast the copy. That's how Isochron Scepter works, too.
Yep.
So, things that care about casting, care when you do this.
Yep.
Just like Isochron Scepter. Things that care about copying, care when you do this. So, if you have something that has the new spell...
Spellcraft?
Magecraft. You're going to get 2 Magecraft triggers because you're creating a copy, and then you're casting it.
Ooh.
Pew, pew, pew.
I like that lots. Another brand new EDH staple special only index like this. Pyromancer Ascension.
All right. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, if it has the same name as a card in your graveyard, you get a counter on it. So you're going to get like 30 fucking 4 counters on your Pyromancer Ascension. And whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, and if Pyromancer Ascension has 2 Ascension counters, or Pyro counters, whatever they are.
Quest counters.
Quest counters, that's right. If it has 2 or more quest counters on it, you copy the spell that you cast.
Ooh.
Yeah, so you can cast your Dragon's Approaches a couple times, get some counters on it, and then whenever you cast a Dragon's Approach, you actually get 2.
You get Dubs Dragon
Dubs,
Approach.
yeah. Now, they resolve like consecutively, but you can't exile the same other 4 from your graveyard, right? And the copy itself doesn't go to a graveyard, so you just have to exile like 4.
So that was going to be my clarification point. You can exile that copy and then the 4 from the graveyard, right?
Yes, because it says
because you exile the one on the stack as it resolves. So instead of that token, for lack of a better term, copy going to your graveyard, it goes to the shit bin with the other 4.
Yes.
And then your original Dragon's Approach
hits
will go
the
to your graveyard,
yes.
so thereby powering the next Dragon's Approach. Yeah. I'm into that.
We've got another one that I had to dig for.
I would harness the storm.
I had to harness my magic jank boxes. Okay, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery from your hand, you may cast target card with the same name as that spell from your graveyard.
Now you still have to pay for it.
Don't care.
But fuck, that's cool, man.
Guess where it goes after you cast it from your graveyard?
Back into the graveyard.
Yes. So you can still use it on your next dragon approaches.
That's freaking awesome.
Yeah, Harness the Storm, 35 cents.
You know what I like about that card is you could X everything off and just look at the art. I think that would be a cool alt art for Thran Dynamo.
That'd be cool.
I
Yeah.
think that'd be neat.
Yeah, that's a gooder.
And the last one in the duplication category, a card I'm really excited to play from Commander 2021, Battle Mage's Bracers.
Yeah, equipped creature has haste, equips for 2. Whenever an ability of an equipped creature triggers or whatever, you can pay 1 and you can copy it.
Yes.
It's a triggered ability though, right?
Yes. No. Yes. Yes. Whenever you activate an ability of the creature.
Oh, so it's an activated ability.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Leans back into all of our dragons have activated abilities.
Also, your Plargg.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
You Plargg twice for 6 instead of Plargging once for 5. Yeah, like that. All right, so now we're duplicating Dragon's Approaches. We're making Dragon's Approaches cost less. We're drawing Dragon's Approaches. Maybe we want to abuse our Plargg a little bit, possibly by untapping him.
Yeah.
So we can pay 15 mana a turn to hypothetically Dragon's Approach.
I love that.
Yeah, I know that sounded like I was being sassy. I actually would love to do that.
I love paying 15 mana for stuff, especially stuff that ought not to be worth 15 mana.
I love paying $15 for cards that shouldn't be worth that much, like Thornbite Staff.
Yeah, what in the ass, hey?
Do you know why this costs so much?
Because it combos with Kiki Jiki?
Yes.
Yeah.
It combos with Hiki Jiki, it combos with fucking Krenko, it combos with...
Combos with lots of stuff. Usually you need like a sack outlet or something though, right? So you can keep untapping because creature... Let's just read the card. This is a 2-drop Shaman equipment. And when a Shaman enters the battlefield, you can attach Thornbite Staff to it for free.
Yeah.
And need I remind you that mother ass Plargg is an Orc Shaman.
The other side of Plargg, not a Shaman. Yet another reason to never play that card.
Plargg enters the battlefield, you equip your Thornbite Staff. An equipped creature has 2 tap. This creature deals 1 damage to target creature or player. And whenever a creature is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, untap this creature.
Uh-oh.
So it's Goblin Sharpshooter,
Yep.
right? Mows down every single 1/1 and continuously untaps.
Well, it untaps the other creature that you have that you want to abuse, because Sharpshooter untaps on its own, but you have the right idea.
Yes. So if this was attached to Plargg, you could tap, pay 2, deal 1 damage, and then untap Plargg if it killed a creature.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why people pair this with like a sack outlet like Ashnod's Altar is you can tap it, deal a damage, and then like you have a token or something and you sacrifice your own thing and you untap your guy that it's attached to, and you use the 2 mana from Ashnod's Altar to
Do a thing.
to pay for the Thornbite Staff. That's why it combos with like Kiki Jiki or Krenko or whatever, because he gives you all those extra bodies to sacrifice, and you can keep untapping, and you can have infinite damage or infinite goblins.
Yeah.
So that's
both
how,
of those things are amazing.
Yeah, and that's how this works, but we're not really doing any of those things in this deck, right?
Right.
So we're untapping Plargg, or we're untapping a dragon, giving pseudo vigilance, or drawing an extra card, or getting an extra dragon storm when stuff dies.
Yeah, I think that it's there more for value, because your opponent's stuff is just going to die. It's going to die in combat. It's going to die here or there. You can just tap your Plargg, discard a card, draw a card.
This is our most current example. Like you say, well, cut something, make a combo deck with Thrumming Stone. Well, cut something else, add in an Ashnod's Altar or some kind of token generator. Maybe instead of that Torbrand, you add a Krenko or a Kiki Jiki, so you can a little bit more effectively combo with your Thornbite Staff, thus leading to a little bit more powerful of a deck if you have to increase the power level like we talked about earlier in the show.
Or cut the Thornbite Staff and play Thrumming Stone.
There it is.
There, we got there. Next card, Mage Rightstone.
This is a 2-drop artifact. You pay 1 tap to untap target creature with an activated ability that has a tap in its cost.
So, Plargg.
Plargg or some of our dragons, I imagine.
I don't think so. Either it's Plargg. It's there for Plargg.
It's there for Plargg.
Maybe Zerta. Also, that isn't a picture of a stone. It's a picture of an egg.
We have exactly one dragon that has a tap in its activation. We'll get there in a sec. We got one more untapper, and boy howdy, here's a card we've never played.
Yeah. And I like this card. It's new to me.
Here's a card that I don't think anybody's ever played yet. If you go to edhrec.com, you see this card on Plargg's main page because there's only 10 decks for him. So this card shows up.
Ooh.
Yeah, give it a read.
It's Hematite Talisman, which is an artifact for 2 and has 3 untapped target permanent. Use this ability only when a red spell is successfully cast and only once for each red spell.
We can only do it once per red spell,
Yeah.
like once per turn type thing. Does Plargg's ability allow us to ignore timing restrictions on sorcery speed Dragon's Approach? No, I don't think so because it says you can cast it. So we can't untap Plargg and then cast a Dragon's Approach on everybody's turn. But we can discard a card and draw a card with Plargg on everybody's turn, provided we have the 3 mana to untap them with Hematite's Talisman.
Yeah. And if you have a, Heartstone, then maybe it only costs 2.
Yes. Oh, good. Yes. Yes. So... cool include. It's from Ice Age, everybody. Just FYI. It's from Ice Age.
It's a neat card. I like it. I don't know if I'm going to play it in decks. I'm going to run out and buy a whole bunch of them, but it's cool, and I'm glad I know about it now.
It's the kind of little gem that gets opened up when you play a deck like this, and it's just like, never seen it before.
Yeah, neat.
And that doesn't happen very often to us anymore because we've been looking at decks and building so many decks for so long.
Yeah, we've been building garbage decks for 4 years.
That's cool.
So coming across a new gem like that's always fun.
Very cool. Now, on to the drags.
The drags, or the dregs, depending on how you look at it. We're going to start with Warmonger Kite.
Oh, man. These have the most badass names, hey?
They do.
So, 5/5 flyer dragon for 6. All creatures attack each combat if able. Okay. Activated ability 1 and red. Attacking creatures get +1/+0 until end of turn. Attacking creatures.
Yes, you can definitely...
like anybody's.
Yeah, you can definitely pump your opponent's Forced Alpha Strike if they're not attacking you.
Yes.
Just to get some surprise damage in there. Steel Hellkite.
5/5 flyer for 6. You pay 2, gets +1/+0, and you can pay X. Destroy each non-land permanent with mana value X whose controller was dealt damage by Steel Hellkite this turn.
Remember when that card was worth more than 18 cents?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool new art on it. You notice that?
That's the old art.
No.
Yeah?
No.
Isn't that the old art?
It looks like the old art, but it's cool and new.
Oh, okay, it looks just like the old art.
Yes.
Continuing on, we have Scourge of Valkys.
Yeah, this is a 4/4 flying dragon for 5. When it or another dragon enters the battlefield under your control, it deals X damage to target creature or player where X is the number of dragons you control. And it's got fire breathing. This is the other one that combos like we were talking about.
Right.
Okay, keep going.
I'm a huge fan of Moonveil Dragon.
Oh, yeah, I love this one. This is a 5/5 flyer for 6. Red. Each creature you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn. So that's fire breathe your whole team.
That was one of my first cards that when I saw it, I knew I needed foils.
I need it.
I needed it in my life. And then I got one, and I'm very pleased with it.
Cool.
Mana Charge Dragon.
All right, 5/5 flying trampler for 6. Join forces. When Mana Charge Dragon attacks or blocks, each player starting with you may pay any amount of mana. Mana Charge Dragon gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is the total amount of mana paid. I don't know. I don't know if anybody ever pays other than us, or other than like somebody who's playing Turgid who Mana Charge Dragon is attacking, and all the opponents are like, oh yeah, let's kill that fucking dirty bastard. So yeah, okay.
Here's a fucking good one, Leyline Tyrant.
Yeah, this is one of our more expensive dragons. This is a 4/4 flyer for 4. You don't lose unspent red mana as steps and phases end. Ooh, yeah, that's pretty good. And when it dies, you may pay any amount of red, like we're going to have any left over after casting all our Dragon's Approaches. When you do, it deals that much damage to any target.
Neat.
Yeah.
Lathless Dragon Queen.
Yeah, whenever a non-token dragon enters a battlefield under your control, you get a 5/5 dragon creature token with flying. 5/5 for 6. Flyer, and fire breathes your whole dragon team.
Cool.
Yeah. Now, The next example of how you might want to power this deck up, you add some mana rocks, some big rituals, you Dragon Storm, right? You Dragon Approach, Dragon Approach, Dragon Approach.
Ritual.
Yeah, then you cast a Dragon Storm. So this is a different deck we're talking about with rituals and mana rocks, right?
Yeah.
You get your Storm count to 4, you get your Lathless, you get your Scourge of Valkys, you get your other thing that when dragons attack, they deal damage equal to their toughness or their power or whatever.
Yeah, the number of dragons or whatever the hell that card is.
You get them all onto the battlefield at the same time with Dragon Storm, because that lets you search for a dragon put onto the battlefield with Storm. So you copy it 4 times, 3 times, 4 times, and you just 40 somebody with like Scourge of Valkys and Lathless, and attacking, you 40 somebody else. It is both a very high-end, powerful EDH play, and also, I think, really makes the deck feel like a Dragon's Approach deck.
Truth.
Yeah. Okay.
Next up, Crimson Hellkite.
And you got to get the one from 7th edition and get 7th edition foils or bust.
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely that, yeah.
This is our 9-drop 6/6 dragon.
Oh.
So this is the one we want to get for free. X tap. It deals X damage to target creature. That's not a very good card.
Well, there's more to that ability.
Is there?
Finish reading the ability, Ryan.
Oh, spend only red mana this way.
Because it's too strong if you could use colorless mana.
Yes.
Oh my god. The last card in the deck is Ancient Hellkite.
Ancient Hellkite. This is a 7-drop 6/6 flying. You can pay red, deals 1 damage to target creature defending player controls, and you can activate only if it's attacking.
Sure.
So you just get blockers out of the way.
Sure.
Now, again, you can power this deck up by playing more powerful dragons. Knoll Spine Dragon just saw 400% increase in price because it's probably the best dragon to find with Dragon's Approach.
Yes.
You discard your hand and then draw cards equal to the amount of damage target opponent took this turn. Probably 9.
Man.
Or more.
Is your opponents took this turn, right?
No, it's just one opponent.
Just target? Okay.
Yeah, just one opponent. But if you go like 2 or 3 Dragon's Approaches and then attack, take 10, couple Dragon's Approaches, draw 15, 16.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
it's
pretty good.
Yeah.
You mentioned Drakuseth, Mauve Flame, Mauve Pain.
That's just a cool-ass dragon card. I think lots of people like that one. It's like a 6/6 for 7, and when it attacks, it 4's something and 3's something else, and then 3's something else. That's just a cool-ass card.
I think that would be a good one as well.
Just throw. There's you could play, if you wanted to kind of smooth out the deck a little bit, you could play that new dwarf that has Magecraft where you get a treasure whenever you play a Dragon's Approach.
Oh yeah, that guy.
You could
so
play him,
strong.
and then you could play the is it Horde Smelter Dragon? It's like a 4/4 with haste that gets bigger for the number of artifacts you control when it attacks. So you're both smoothing out your curve, getting some more mana, getting some ramp, and one of your dragons is now A, hasty, and B, good.
I like that.
That'd be kind of neat. And again, those are both things that you could put in here that it wouldn't change the power level of the deck at all. I don't think, anyway. We could play Ryuji, the Falling Star, or the Crimson Star, the Brutal Star.
Yeah, that's the one that deals damage when it dies, right?
Yeah, that could be a card you play.
Horde Smelter Dragon gets +X/+O, where X is an artifact you destroyed's mana cost.
What's the one I'm thinking of? There's definitely a dragon that does that. Joe will have it on the screen if you're watching on YouTube.
Oh yeah, we're getting good at like giving Joe less description and still having him find cards.
I think it's a 4/4. It flies. It obviously, because it's a dragon, and it does something for the number of artifacts you control. And you can do it a bunch of that ability. It's like a fire breathing where you pay an amount of mana, then it gets bigger, equal the number of artifacts you control, and you can do that a bunch of times.
Nice.
So it just gets fucking huge. Somebody's screaming it into
yes.
And the picture's like he's flying and he's about to breathe lasers on somebody.
I have that card. I played it in Rorik's Bladewing. Somebody's screaming because we just played that card like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, like everybody knows what card we're talking about except us. Because
+X equal the number of artifacts you play that dwarf guy. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that'd be cool in this deck. And again, it would give you that mana.
Now, we're going to talk some strengths and weaknesses really quick.
Okay.
Tune up or tune down. This deck, Dragon's Approach, gives us that ability.
Yes, that's versatility is always a strength.
Versatility and power level in particular.
Yep.
And it could be as easy as mana rock swaps, powerful dragons, or jank dragons.
Yep. All of which you probably have in your collection right now.
Yeah. A new way to take advantage of a bone that we were thrown. Right? Just a cool thing. You like the Seven Dwarves, you like rat decks.
Yep.
I like Petitioner decks. Things that let us cheat and break the rules.
It's always fun.
Oh yeah, I love cheating.
It always feels like you're getting away with something, right?
Yeah.
And that's always cool.
Yeah. Now, Torbrand, damage, dragons, lots of hurt.
Hell yeah.
Lots of hurt.
Bring the pain. That feels good. Like, hey, I'm going to make some stuff. Everybody take 8. And everybody goes, whoa!
Yeah.
And that's always a good feeling.
Very much so. Now, Dragon's Approaches are about like $250 right now, which is an expensive common. But the whole deck as it stands is $166, and if those Dragon's Approaches go down, we're going to see a mega affordable way to play a deck when Rat Colonies and Relentless Rats. Remember Relentless Rats and Shadowborn Apostles? Another example are like $3 or $4.
Yeah.
Right? So this being a common, we might see them go down a little bit.
We have to, right?
But they might go back up. You never know.
With Dragon's Approach also, I think that this is important. Yes, there's Elder Dragons in Stonkhaven, but there's also dragons in virtually every other Magic set.
Ooh, yep.
So this is a card that we could see more of in the future getting... we probably won't because WotC, but there is a chance that we could see this card pop up again with even the same art.
Hey, you know the age-old argument is like it's okay to proxy if you own the card. Can you buy one Dragon's Approach and then just print like 34 other ones? Is that still okay?
This is a $2.50 common. Yes.
Okay, let's move over to the weaknesses.
Okay.
And $2.50 common that you need 30 of
is one of them.
Yeah, let's make that price go down. So nobody buy them yet. Just let me get mine first. Okay. Real weakness though. Meddling Mage, Ruined Halo, Lavinia of the 10th. These are real cards.
Yes,
these are cards that exist.
And they're cards that people play.
I play Ruined Halo in my Enchantress deck.
I play Ruined Halo in... I forget which deck. But I think I played in like 2 decks. I definitely play.
Because it shuts off somebody's commander if they're trying to kill you.
Correct.
Yeah, now it shuts off Dragon's Approach.
Yes.
This seems weird to say in a red deck, but
baby.
You're weak to graveyard hate.
And not because you're so reliant on Underwear Breach. It's because you're reliant on that graveyard.
Having 5 Dragon's Approaches in your graveyard. Yeah. Okay, now... Again, just to reiterate, 30 of the same card that's expensive. That was the last note I had for weaknesses.
I think we'd actually go back. I just thought of this as a strength of the deck is we're talking about using Dragon's Approaches in the graveyard to get dragons and all the stuff. With Torbrand or maybe some other damage doubling thing, I don't know, maybe a Fiery Emancipation.
Ooh.
You could just win with fucking Dragon's Approaches.
Yes.
If you have a Fiery Emancipation, you're paying 3 to do 9, 8, 27 total damage.
27 total damage.
That's a good rate because you're nining all of your opponents.
That's pretty good.
So you could do something like that here as well.
The what do you call it? The juxtaposition of that. Maybe the counter argument is how much do you want it to feel like a burn deck versus a dragon deck? Or you, if you have 4 mono red decks that are all burn decks, because that's what they fucking are.
Just 2 of them are.
I'm just bugging you. But how much do you want it to just feel like a burn deck, right? Versus having a unique spice of dragons or like combo cards or whatever in there, right?
So now you're asking me, so obviously the answer is fucking yes.
Yes.
I just want to win with Dragon's Approaches. Cut out the middleman. Dragonless Dragon Approach.
Oh, you just slayed me. And I already bought my Null Spine Dragon. I'm going to sell it. I'm going to sell it and make Dogecoin amounts of money. Oh, man. God dang. Good idea. Now, speaking of budget, Thornbite Staff, $10. Battle Mage Bracer, pre-order prices notwithstanding, $9.50 almost. $9.
It's in the deck. Buy the deck.
It's in the pre-con, you mean?
Yeah, that pre-con is probably it's got lots of value, lots of cards that you're probably going to be able to play, and if you're not going to play them, you can trade them. So just buy that one.
Well, there you go. And Semblance Anvil. Coincidentally, the card that you said to cut is another card, $6.50. If you cut those 3, the deck would be $140, which is relatively cheap, keeping in mind that 85 of those dollars are Dragon's Approaches right now.
Yeah.
I expect you see that card go below $2. Not that we're a finance podcast.
No, but when it comes to something like that, it's based on scarcity because everybody needs a fucking 100 of them, right?
Yeah.
That's why they
and
cost
it's
as much
brand
as
new
they
and
do.
everybody's like super hard for it right now,
It's
right?
just the new hotness. Duh. But that'll go down. Once people start cracking collector boosters and draft boosters for that matter, once that stuff starts happening, you're going to see the price dip for a little while. But I think this is one of those cards, just like the demon finding guy,
The Apostles.
and possibly even persistent petitioners.
They are lower. Yeah, they were about 2 or 3 when they came out. Just like Rat Colony from Dominaria was about $2. Now it's less.
Yep, you gotta jump on the train because once the set kind of goes out, especially now where sets are going out way faster than they used to, you might want to jump on the train a little bit. Once the prices goes down, maybe start hunting. Start
Now,
digging through those boxes if you can.
Get this. You said Dragon's Approach,
Shit, yeah.
and I legitimately want to build that deck. But this is how on the train for Dragon's Approach I am.
Okay.
And Fusion has one, but it's Chinese, and I wanted an English one.
Uh-oh.
I almost went single Dragon's Approach with Zodiac Dragon. Almost. I almost did it. Zodiac Dragon, for those who know or don't know, Portal 3 Kingdoms rare, the most expensive card in the set at $303 on TCG or Scryfall. It's a 8/8 dragon for red 7.
Oh.
So an 8/8 for 9. When it's put into your graveyard from the battlefield, you can return it to your hand.
Ooh.
I almost went in on it, and I think I still might. If I see an English one pop up on Fusion, you know how I just traded in like $300 worth of cards for credit?
That's where it's going.
That might be where it goes. CCO Fusion 5 promo code to get 5% off my $300 shitty dragon, Zodiac Dragon. Final thing.
Is it the spice calculator?
Oh, baby.
Oh, man. Okay.
Oh, baby.
Let's
okay.
do it.
Now, you know that it takes into account popularity or how many lists there are on EDH Rector.
It does.
10 lists for our old Plargg.
That puts him, we're not even going to count place because he's second from the bottom of the Boros category, right above our boy Bruce Tarl Boorish Herder.
By himself,
and right below the partner pairing of Jessica Thrice Reborn and Arden Intrepid Archaeologist.
Yeah, he's umpteenth between those two
pieces of crap. Yes.
Oh, man. I think I did count. I have 42. He's the 42nd most popular Boros combination.
That's amazing.
That's second from the bottom. Okay, so average CMC 3.17. Those dragons approaches at 3 really bring down those dragons at 9. Pretty good. We got one tutor that we can't currently cast until the mana base is retooled.
We also have 101 cards in the deck, so we can just cut that tutor.
Cut that fucking tutor. Okay, now, Uniqueness Rating. This is cards different than the average Plargg deck. Now, remember, I said that this deck is influencing greatly Plargg decks on edhrec.com because there's only 10 decks to draw from.
Right.
So we do actually have a Uniqueness Rating that's only 45, but that doesn't count all of the Dragon's Approaches that are the same because Dragon's Approach is in the standard Plargg deck.
Yeah.
But when you scroll down the EDH rec page, you don't see like 30 Dragon's Approaches. You just see one.
Yes.
Right? So if we don't count Dragon's Approach, punch it all into the spice calculator, you get a 63.2.
Nice.
Yeah. Now, if you take those Dragon's Approaches into account, the number of matches that is, spice calculator jumps down to 28.2. But I don't think that we count them. I think because it's a unique take or the low power level take of what could be a pretty fast burn deck, combo deck.
If it was me, I would average them because part of the spice calculation, the spice rating is, are you going to get that unique gameplay experience each and every time? Not just, is this a spicy deck? Because yes, it's a spicy deck, but for you playing it, the experience you're going to have, because you have 34 of the same card in it, your experience will probably not vary that much, in that the deck is going to be, I'll play Dragon's Approach. I'll play Dragon's Approach. I'll play Dragon's Approach. While the other 3 people at the table who've never seen the deck play are like, oh, that's fucking crazy.
Oh, no, you got Torbrand now. Take 5.
So you got to kind of look at it on both ends of the spectrum. Which are you looking to impress people with how spicy your deck list is?
Only foil Dragon's Approaches? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course. But, dude.
What do you think this is?
Have you met me? Did you not listen to me at the beginning of the show when I was talking about foiling out my mono red everythings? That's why I'm not playing Dragon's Approach, Ryan. I can't afford it.
$6 right now each.
I can't afford it.
You know what? I do like that. You know, we've coined the term on the show, drinking deck.
Yeah.
And a drinking deck, for the new members of CCO Nation, is a deck that you play when you're laying one out, right? When you're drinking and playing.
Yeah.
And a drinking deck usually is a deck that is low powered and easy to pilot. A to B to C type pilot, right?
This is a very difficult deck to make a critical play mistake, I would argue.
Yes, unless you're playing like the Burgy Storm combo version.
This deck that's on the screen in front of us today, as it is built, you're not going to make many mistakes.
Which is good, I think.
I love that. I really enjoy it.
And you know what else? That leads itself not only to being a good drinking deck, but also a good deck for maybe a younger player, right? Not only are you eliminating complexity by playing 34 of the same card, you're playing cards that younger players typically gravitate to in big, spooky, scary, splashy dragons.
Hell yeah.
Right? You get the kind of the prestige of having a double-sided commander, which is something unique that a younger player might like.
Sure.
Right? And you do have a good mix of old cards and new cards. And when I see a younger player, like at a Magic Fest one time, I was playing against a kid one time, he's like 8 or 10, and he was playing some old cards that were printed before he was born. And I told him, like, that's pretty cool that like you found those cards or took the time to research to find those cards that are like older than you are. It's like when you see like a classic car driving down the road, and it's like a young guy driving it. And that young guy's like into cars and like built this old car kind of maybe with his dad or whatever, but it's his car. Yeah. Versus like all of the gray-haired guys that you see driving like old muscle cars that you're just like, oh yeah, old guy.
That they bought brand new in 1964.
Oh, no, that they bought now because they're retired and have lots of money.
Oh yeah.
Right? Versus like seeing a kid drive one, you know?
I suppose, yeah.
So all in all, cool deck. Like my Dragon's Approach deck's going to be totally different, a little bit more powerful, but still a good drinking deck because the complexity is less than normal commander decks.
Dig it.
Yeah, I'll put my list up when it's ready.
Look forward to it.
Yeah, we probably won't tech it on the show because it's like half the same as this, but or 34% the same as this.
Oh, man.
Hey, we forgot Card of the Week.
Card of the week.
That's what I meant.
What's it going to be? Overmaster? Nah, it can't be Overmaster.
I was going to say Zodiac Dragon. If you got an English one, let me know.
No, it can't be Zodiac Dragon. What about Hematite Talisman?
Why not Dragon's Approach?
I like Hematite Talisman.
We'll do dual Card of the Week.
Cards of the week.
Cards of the week. All 35 of them. 34 Dragon's Approaches and 1 Hematite Talisman.
There we go.
Yep. And you can get your Cards of the Week at FusionGamingOnline.com. CCO Fusion 5 promo code. Get you 5% off your Dragon's Approach eye.
Yeah, that's how I'd say it.
You can get them now and save a bunch of money. You can get them when they're a little bit cheaper and save a bunch of money. Either way, if you're going to buy them, go to Fusion. They have them in stock. I've bought some already. I'm waiting for them to come after the pre-orders are all released. But I'm thinking about buying a box now because they are at common. And
so you'll probably get a number of Dragon's Approaches equal to the number of Skewer the Critics that I got. Oh my God.
Yes.
The fucking odyssey that was, hey?
Yep, that was something else.
Oh my God.
Card of the week, Skewer the Critics. Skewer the Critics. You can get those at Fusion as well. I just traded a playset in. I got like 40 cents.
That's pretty good for a common.
No, like 40 cents for the playset.
It's pretty good for a common.
Yeah, they were buying them. There it is. Well, final thought of the day?
That's the deck. I like it. It's casual. It's a burn deck. It's a stompy deck. It has room to move down and up depending on which direction you want to go. And you can even splash another color in if you are wanting to do so. And that's always fun, as options are the spice of life, because options are just variety with a different word.
Yeah.
Title, term.
Sure.
It's a synonym, sort of, in this particular instance. The point is the deck is cool. It costs very little. You probably have most of the cards already. And the things that you don't, you're going to have something to put in its place, because that's just how the deck works.
Like a Zodiac Dragon.
Like a Zodiac Dragon. If it's in English, you should definitely get it, Ryan, so that you can get a...
I could use my Fusion store credit, get the Chinese one, and if you want to trade Chinese for English, I'm down.
A better deal you'll not find. Apart from the fact I think that English cards from
P3K are worth more. Yes.
Well,
Whatever. Anyways,
well, hey man, if somebody's actually gonna play that piece of shit, maybe it's worth it to trade it in for a Chinese one.
Can we play Zodiac Tribal? There's 12 of those suckers.
Well, I mean, yes, we obviously could. We could just play a bunch of crabs and
we could be ZCO Zodiac Cookout.
Oh god, that deck is already awful.
There's 12 of them. Dog, dragon, goat, horse, monkey, reprinted in 8th edition. Weird. Okay. Ox, pig, rabbit, rat, rooster, snake, and tiger.
Yeah, it's the Chinese zodiac, man. That's
Yes.
yeah, it's what it is.
How many of those creatures have been errated to have different creature types that aren't their name anymore?
All of them?
That's a good trivia question. Or none of them, because rabbit is still rabbit. Monkey is ape now. No, it's monkey. What the fuck? They errated it back?
We're falling too deep down the rabbit hole,
Ooh,
Ryan.
And the monkey hole. Don't Google that.
Don't Google that. But speaking of holes, thank you for having us in yours, either your ear holes or your eye holes or whatever other hole through which you intake the show each and every week. Thank you very much to our business daddies, FusionGamingOnline.com, for helping us keep the lights on so that people can take the show into their holes. And we are going to be back next week with another super exciting adventure on Commander Cookout Podcast. Hit our theme song!